I don't think he looks as fat, as big, as round as his brother. Rest a lot. Tom in England. Good question, Tom. Do all the males get to breed? All the males within the coalition, all the pride males, will they all get to breed with the females? Eventually, yes, Tom. I think generally, because of the time frame, because of the estrus period of the females, you'll find the male can't really sustain his mating, and they do. I've seen them where the other male does take over, or does. You also find sometimes, as far as the females are concerned, or a lot of the time, the females will come into estrus together, or relatively close to each other. Not always, but generally speaking, to have cubs at around the same time, so that the cubs there's not too much of a discrepancy in the ages and the sizes of the cubs, because that can get a little bit difficult for the smaller cubs when it comes to being weaned and it comes to fighting over food on a carcass. Cubs of similar ages have a greater chance of seeing it through to adulthood, rather than cubs of varying ages, where the younger cubs are going to be dominated over and are not going to get as much of a chance on a carcass as their older counterparts. He's having a bad hair day. After rolling in the hay. Carol wants to know how old these Matimbas are. I think they're probably about 7 or 8, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe get some idea from lion people. I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry, but my memory doesn't serve me as well as it used to. I can't remember whether we had the Matimbas the last time we were here back in 2011. I don't think so. We had the Matingalians, 5 of them that came in. One of them was lost as soon as they arrived on the scene, because they had a fight with the then ruling government known as the Mapojos. So I'm not sure. I don't think they were here 3 years ago. You can see a pretty hefty mane. I mean, this is the smaller of the 2 brothers. They might not even be siblings. They might be pride brothers from 2 different mothers. But pretty well-developed manes, pretty scarred faces. They've had a few fights. Probably a lot of the scars, not necessarily so much through fighting, but a lot through mating and scrapping over carcasses, more than anything. Ears are not as tatty as they get when by the time they've been through a few territorial bouts. So in that prime, probably around 8 years old. 7 or 8. Anybody can confirm or deny or disagree. While we're sitting here, I'm looking for this reptile. Yes. Ramona. For a long, long time, from what I understand. He seems to worry it a lot, so he licks it a lot. And I think there has been speculation as to what caused it, but I couldn't tell you. Almost right there at the dew claw. Okay, that's interesting. Maybe they're a lot older than I thought. Oh yeah, Craig, you have to shout like that. Now, the first time they were noticed was 2010. Evidently showed up in Manaleti, thanks Diane. Showed up in November 2010. And they were thought to be about 6 years old then, which would put them at about 14 now. I can't see them being 14, I'm sorry. I know 14-year-old lions, and in a place where there are so many coalitions and there is so much conflict between lions, But thanks for the info, Diane. I'd like to see if there's more info available. I could also find out from the guys in Manaleti, because if they've come in from Manaleti and been pushed down by the other coalitions that have brewed, I suppose, in Manaleti, I'm sure there'll be more info from them up there. Interesting concept. Renee is asking if the crocodile would do anything with the lions here. They could. I think this croc is probably a little bit too small to tackle one of them, but also the fact that there are two of them probably is intimidating enough. I think maybe what we can do while these boys are sleeping, let's just have a look if we can see that croc up on this little arm of the dam, and we can try and find a better position too in a little while. This is a different crocodile because it looks a little bit smaller to me. It would be very strange if the crocodile that was here, if it moved off and it has been replaced by a smaller one. It's hard to tell, given the distance that it is, given there's nothing to really gauge its size until it gets out of the water. I just heard the radio Craig and Lex are talking about the age of the Matimbas. None of them have much of an idea because also they haven't been in the Sabi Sands for very long. Lex saying maybe 8 to 10. Any word there initially? Six. So they were initially a coalition of 6. The oldest in 2011, July 2011, according to Karen, was the first time they showed up in Manyaleti, or maybe here from Manyaleti. And the oldest then was 6, which would put him 10, 11. That one, maybe that one on the left, evidently a male named Induna. I have heard of a male called Induna. However, not knowing all 6, I wouldn't know which, but it could be him, I guess. I wonder what happened to the other 4 brothers. Or boys. They don't necessarily have to be brothers. They don't necessarily have to be related males to join up to form a coalition. Very interesting question from Derek. The arrival of the lion, is that linked to the very large herd of buffalo that's been around? Yes and no. Funny that you should mention that, Derek, because there are places where, especially where I've lived, where you can be pretty sure if you find a herd of buffalo, you can be pretty sure that they're going to be lying not far away. I mean, Ruaha National Park is renowned for the buffalo movement that takes place. It's almost like a seasonal, I wouldn't call it a migration, but there's the seasonal movement of these very, very large herds of buffalo. And they do these big loops around the Ruaha and the Mwagusi River. And they have to almost run a gauntlet between many different prides of lion. And the lion just feed off buffalo every 2 or 3 days. They've become specialist buffalo hunters, and they very seldom eat anything else. The smaller groups of females that live within some of those territories. There's a couple of groups that don't feed on buffalo, and I've even known 2 lionesses who have killed adult bull buffalo on their own. But they also go for zebra and smaller things because it's only the 2 of them with their cubs. And the 2 males that live with them aren't always with them to help them with the buffalo. Here in this part of the world, the big breeding herds of buffalo that we get that come through here also move through different lion territories. So it's not always that lion can follow them, because the buffalo will move out of their territory. The buffalo move in much larger circles than the lion. So I guess when the buffalo herd is coming through, and I had a wonderful experience the night before I came back, just this last week when I was at home. My last night out on drive had a breeding herd of buffalo coming up from my neighbors to the south, and they were crossing the main access road of the reserve of the Timbavati, going to the north, and that would have taken them just off of my eastern boundary. It would have been like the analogies are irrelevant, but we managed to watch the whole herd cross. There was some very interesting behavior out of a couple of bulls at the back of the herd, especially one very, very big bull and a much younger bull, and it was almost as though the big bull was preventing the younger bull from getting back to the herd. It's almost as though he was teaching the younger bull that the duty of a big old bull in a buffalo herd is to bring up the rear and to protect from lion at the rear. And they had only just crossed the road when the 2 local big male lions moved in and tried to make a kill just as it was getting dark. An enormous stampede, dust, noise, and some of the strangest noise I've ever heard from buffalo. And I've seen many lion hunts. I've been amongst lion hunting buffalo many times. Some very strange noises out of the buffalo that we could hear in the dark. Now, I had asked some of the neighbors that were at that had been watching the buffalo cross the road, I'd asked them if they'd seen any sign of the 2 males, and they had been seen much further east to where the buffalo herd was, but it seemed like they must have had some inkling of the buffalo's presence. What, did I say something wrong? Or you don't like my voice? If looks could kill. Looking straight at me, not trying to. I'm okay, let's blink my eyes. Or maybe he doesn't like me talking about lion strategy. Elephant. Do lions ever go swimming? Oh, we got elephants coming. That's what he heard. He was looking right past me. There's a young elephant coming. A little bull with one tusk. This might be interesting because he could be. Craig got a small dwarf on his way down to the water. Have you got more your side? Hang on, Nikki. Yeah, they're getting up. I suppose Craig can see that. Don't have to tell him that. Hello, little boy. The little Ellie's maybe not even interested in them just yet. I don't think he's seen them. He's just looking at us. Hello, little boy. Elephants, we're getting a little bit cautious. See, I think the lion don't know that there's only one little boy. Ellie can smell something. He's definitely quite tentative. Sorry, Nikki, I had the sound down. This one. The question, I'm not sure who it was from, was about whether the lion ever get into the water. Here, not. No. Here in this part of the world, the lion aren't very fond of water at all. Margot was asking. Margot is in Florida. I've only ever known lion to have to deal with water in places where there are very big rivers, or in the Okavango Delta where they have to cross water to get to the different islands, to get from island to island and move through the swampland. But I've never known lion to actually swim. I think in a lot of the big bodies of water, you've always got crocodiles and cats where they live. With cats that live in those areas with crocodiles will invariably be very wary of the crocodiles. Morning, little boy. Now, he could be just breaking away from his family and coming down for a drink. He's going to head towards where they were sleeping, and I'm sure he'll pick up their scent. Or he could be a teenager that's leaving his herd and hoping to find a bigger bull to be with. We need to move, because now we've got no view of cats and no view of Ellie. What, little boy? Ellie on my head. Okay, he's panicking, so we'll just let him calm down. He's possibly smelling the fact that there have been cats around. And he's also I suppose a little bit insecure without mom and family around. It's quite possible that they're slowly making their way here to the water. Right, let's see if I can start up again. See? As soon as I start up, he gets nervous. There we go. More Ellie's behind us. So all he's done is he's decided to come to the water before the rest of the herd. And then they're all on our left. That's why he's a bit nervous, because and this seems to be, it's not a herd, seems to be a bachelor herd of bulls. So he's probably quite new to the bachelors and babies. Let's go and have a look. The cats are lying down again. We're not going to lose them. But here comes one of the big cows and her children. Very big girl. And little one. So I think what happened was the cats must have heard that there was more than just one little boy elephant. I wasn't hearing this big herd. Huge, beautiful big group that are heading down to the river, to the dam. But they are feeding as they go along, so there's no rush to get to the water. It's not hot. Wahoo with the lion. Nikki wants to know why they would have moved off. Well, because this herd will charge them. The herd of elephants do not like lion, especially with these little ones that we can see. Help me, mommy. The lion are not... They must have heard more than we could see. And despite the fact that this is a very large herd, now we need to get to the water to be able to watch them come down. We don't want to be behind them. But a very large herd like this, if they pick up on lion and they see the lion, they'll charge them, they'll chase them, they'll make sure that they get the upper hand. So I want to try and get to the other side of the dam before the herd gets here, so that we can see or get to a different position. Otherwise, all we're going to see are the backs of elephants. Maybe we can go around to where the cats are. The lions keep their distance. If the ellies come this way, I'll move again. If the elephants move off, I'll probably relax again. But lion and elephant don't see eye to eye. Very good in here.
Just a berry. He's got a big belly. He doesn't want to eat anybody.
Wow, just made it in time to get a duo of lions and elephants. To get a bit of, so they're heading off into dreamland. Just want to see if we can get, because the ellies are not going to be here for too long. There's the crocodile. That is still, I think, you can see the croc moving away from the ellies as well now. Sorry, the angle's different. Still quite a big crocodile, so I think it's still the same croc. Just need an elephant to give it perspective. Like a submarine or a battleship slowly moves away from potential trouble. Oh, there, that little one, they're smelling where the lion was sleeping. They don't seem to be reacting too much to the fact that there were lion there. And there's still elephants coming out of the woodwork in the background.
Those lines here for a fact that it's better for them to move away size-wise, numbers-wise. Also a few fish in the ocean. I'm sorry it's a horrible Sunday. See a lot of elephants.
Got a fright. One elephant got a fright from the heron. I'm getting a very rough signal on the radio, and I know there are some questions coming in. I think one of the questions, and I couldn't pick up who that was from, was something about what would cause an elephant to lose a tusk. Well, sometimes they get broken in sparring and fighting. Sometimes a tusk can be lost broken through breaking of branches. But quite often when we don't see a tusk, it is because the tooth hasn't grown out. Maybe not necessarily that it's broken off or they've lost a tusk, but maybe they just didn't have tusks to begin with. The beauty about being on the opposite side of the water is that the elephants are unmoved by our presence. So we get to see almost unhindered behavior from them. That's quite a tender and very touching gesture there, putting trunk in the other one's mouth, that we saw very often the greeting that elephants have. The little ones are intrigued with that gully that's formed. There was another question too. Would the lion have felt the elephant in the vibration in the ground? No, they definitely, from what I deduced from the way he sat up and he looked towards me, I thought it was because I was talking. I thought it might have had something to do with my voice. But he heard a noise and he looked up, and then he started listening to more noises. I couldn't hear it basically because I've got one ear blocked with an earphone listening to the radio, and the other ear mostly the hum from the vehicle. So it's very difficult for me to hear the subtle sounds of a herd. Even though it's a herd of elephant, I have to tell you, they move quieter than one person would walk through the bush. And because he is very attuned to those noises, he would have lifted his head. And I've seen it so many times, the way lions do that. You can hear a squirrel now shouting at him. Let's move down next to the water. So it's something that you find, especially when you're tracking lion, even on foot, especially, when the way they suddenly jump up when they hear you coming, because very often you find lion will be sleeping if you're tracking them, and before you know it, you suddenly got a lion jumping up ahead of you because you don't see them, they're so fast asleep, and they're flat. It's only when they suddenly lift their heads because they can hear you. I don't think they feel vibration. I think it's more an audible signal that they get before they feel anything. I also don't think, based on the quietness of those elephants moving, they're not making that much of a vibration, a rumble on the ground. I can see the squirrel now sitting on a dead tree. Also very typical of squirrel alarming is the flicking of the tail. almost like a squeaky toy. The tail that makes the noise. You move the tail to make a noise. And suddenly, Buffelshoek Dam, apart from the squirrel shouting, has become a very quiet and tranquil place once again. No one would, if we didn't know the lion were here and we just had to arrive at the dam right now, we would think that very quiet, no activity, peaceful, tranquil scene with no inkling that there was a little bit of drama that has just played itself out. Lois, I think it is, in Buffalo, New York. Lois is asking if males, when they form a coalition, non-related males, I guess, will they fight to assert dominance, to establish dominance? They might do. We noticed that when we were in Thornybush a couple of years ago, notable example, when we were in Thornybush, there was a young male that was just leaving the pride, and a new male had come in to Thornybush from the Timbavati. He had somehow got in. Well, the fence wasn't very substantial at the time, probably because of previous flooding, where the Timbavati River left Manulet, or rather left Thornybush. And a male had come in from Timbavati, and the first day that they got together, there was a scuffle, there was a bit of a fight, and the young male was, well, he got a pretty bad cut on his upper lip. And then after that, they joined up and they formed a coalition, and I think they're still together today. I must actually look into that, to see whether they are still together, the two boys. But different ages, different areas, they've joined up together. Well, I guess now that I'm seeing him lying differently, it does look like he might have a full belly. Not as full as his brother, but he's certainly got a full belly. Peggy's asking if elephants ever get as full as lions do, because elephants seem to always be eating. No, they don't really, Peggy, because their digestive system is somewhat different. You see, lions are eating a very high-protein meal. They're eating meat. It doesn't move through the system very quickly. It takes a longer time to digest. Elephant, on the other hand, have the kind of digestive system that requires constant movement. Food going in and food coming out, because the kind of digestive system doesn't really take very much out of what they put in. Excuse me a second. Go ahead. Very welcome, Andrew. Do you know where I am? Really get over full because their digestive system is constantly processing the vegetation and making space for new food to come in. There's a fair amount of fermentation that takes place, and if the food stays in the stomach too long, that fermentation can become more advanced, and of course it can cause gases and build up that an elephant shouldn't really have within its stomach. And so the roughage that it needs helps pass through all the undigested material. Trying to think. I'm sure Andrew will find a place. Only a couple of days ago we were in a very similar situation with another dam, with another group of lion lying amongst fallen trees where the water had receded. Good morning. Actually see the difference in the size of the stomachs now.
So, two brothers. Got in close to the water. Moved down there because of the empty.
Dara, who's in Ohio. Hello, Dara. Wants to know if the squirrel is going to be calling until they leave. Could be. Might get bored, might get hoarse. And also might even call long after they leave. It might be so upset with their presence that it'll call when it can't even see them anymore.
The other side because see them. They're still looking at the thing.
Now, living with these squirrels in my roof, I wake up to this almost every morning at home, and I invariably either race to a window or run out the door to see what there might be. Problem is that a squirrel will do this for an African wildcat even. I've even got a slender mongoose that climbs up a knobthorn outside my house to go and check the squirrel nests and the bird nests. And the squirrels go mad like this just for a slender mongoose. So sometimes, in fact, most of the time we hear squirrels alarming. We don't always get to see what it is that they're alarming at. I can't see. Can you see where it is, the squirrel?
It's moved now.
Yeah, behind this baby Timbueti. I think he's getting not only uncomfortable, but he's probably getting irritated by the squirrel. He just wants peace and quiet. Wants to take a cat nap without the noise. So eventually the squirrel stops looking at the predator and alarming at the predator and starts looking elsewhere to see if it can attract the attention of other squirrels or other allies. well, now Andrew's not here. We're not going to block him if I just move a little bit more and more level. Some pretty heavy cloud rolling in towards the south, but it's coming from the east. And our eastern sky is fairly light. Yes, much better now, thanks. Still only about 3 out of 5, but I got you. Please repeat. Interesting news from Nikki about a bit of a conversation going on Twitter, #SafariLive, about the squirrel, because it has been going non-stop, wondering if he's ever going to lose his voice. Well, not really. Look at that. Now, looking at his canines, if we can get a good look, they are not very on his left canine. It's still got pretty sharp canines. You know, after 10 years or so, lions tend to start, their canines tend to start getting a little bit blunt. And his incisors were still looking fairly good, so he's not in any older years. I mean, let's put it this way: he's not declining rapidly like an old lion would. So. Difficult answer to a question from Mary, because it's not there isn't a one-off answer to it. Mary wants to know what is the sort of time span of dominance for a coalition of males. Generally, it's anywhere from maybe 3 to 5 years, maximum 5, but it's normally only about 3 or 4 years. But a lot of it is dependent on the density of the lion population. You see, every area in Africa, in fact, even every area here in the relatively small reserve of the Sabi Sand. And Sabi Sand, we're talking about maybe about 130 to 150,000 acres of the Sabi sand. Although it's open to Kruger, it's all part of Kruger. It is still diverse enough that what happens with lion in this part of the Sabi sand, it could be different further south. There are different densities. And then you look at the whole of Kruger, which are millions and millions of acres of Kruger and all the lion that live in Kruger. You'll have a different dynamic throughout Kruger, and then you look at an area like the Kalahari where lion are so much more spread out. They have much bigger territories. There are different survival criteria. And then in the Okavango Delta, where it's the opposite of the Kalahari Desert, it's a water wonderland. There are different dynamics there. So to give you a simple answer, it wouldn't hold for other lion in any other area. And so it's more a case of observing individuals and maybe over time creating some sort of database of how long different coalitions have ruled a territory, and being able to then get a mean, get an average. And I think you'd probably find it's probably about 3 or 4 years. I like the way he does a little bit of an Elvis thing with his upper lip. Okay, I think maybe I should move for you, Viam, because we've got a bit of grasses in his face. While we've got a chance to be able to view them like this, try and get a really nice, now that his brother has moved, I'm going to swing you around to the other side maybe. See if we can't get a really nice clear view of his face, unobstructed. Oops. They've just picked up the female pride from these two boys, the Nkuhumas, a little bit north of us. Lex, where's 3 in a row in relation to Buffelshoek Dam? Alright, thanks. Yeah, 3 in a row pan, very far away, so if they were to be calling, possible that the Nkuhumas could hear them, but not that close that they're going to reunite at any time today, maybe tonight. Yeah, the squirrel's tiring a little bit. Morning, Lev. Lev in Brooklyn. Nice to hear from Lev in Brooklyn. Will these two males stay together for the rest of their lives? It's possible, Lev. It's not a certainty. But it's likely. With the way coalitions have been working here, you find that there's sometimes coalitions of 5, 6 males that come in, and with just the two of them, as they get older, obviously their ability to defend themselves and their territory becomes more and more diminished with age, and I guess it's possible that one of them will get lost to a fight before it becomes sort of possible, not likely, but it's possible that what will separate them will be a fight where one of them will either get so badly injured or one of them could get killed. And if that happens and that leaves just one male on his own, he's not going to be able to hold he's not going to be able to hold his own against anything, so he will then become probably just an old nomadic male that has to avoid other males in his waning years. Or if they get ousted as a pair, they could spend the rest of their days, the last few years, wandering around as old boys. Very difficult to predict what would happen when it comes to nature. Very difficult to know what will happen. And one of the reasons why we just love watching things, because we get answers all the time. And what you find with one set of circumstances, you might never find that happening again. So you can never say that when you are observing something that it goes for all other animals or all other animals of the same species, that all others will do the same thing. Go ahead. How long do I think these boys have before being kicked out by another coalition? Well, there, you see, that's a perfect question for that answer, Tom. Tom's in the Falklands. Nice to hear from the Falkland Islands. Nice to know that we have a connection, albeit through technology, to a group of islands down south. They could be ousted tomorrow, Tom. There could be a coalition that moves in here, 3, 4, 5, or 6 younger males, stronger males maybe, that might come in and oust them tomorrow. Or it could be another 2 years before they are ousted, before that could happen. We have seen them mating with the Nkuhumas over the last a couple of months, and we're hoping that that is going to result in some fruition. It's going to produce some cubs, and it would be good if they could hold their territory for at least another 2 years. If they are siring more cubs now with these Nkuhumas, they would need to hold this territory for at least another 3 years, 2 to 3 years, to be able to make sure that those cubs, their progeny, survive. Any other males coming in would kill new cubs or cubs belonging to other males so that they can sire their own. It's one way of ensuring the dominance in the gene pool that's constantly breeding with the females and bringing new genes into the pride. But it's another reason to be spending every day out here trying to find them, trying to keep up with their lives. Is one of the most wonderful things we have about being able to bring you to this part of the Greater Kruger National Park, to Djuma Game Reserve every day, as opposed to when you're visiting a place like Africa. You come and visit and you get to see these animals on safari, but then when you leave a place, you never know what happens to the lives of those animals. And if you come on safari here at Djuma or neighboring lodges like Arathusa, you're able to see the animals that we can show you every day, but when you go home, you're actually able to follow their lives through us, hopefully for as long as we can. I know that we're not going to be here forever, but we do get to see a longer glimpse of their lives over a greater period of time than one would normally see if you were just visiting Africa for a shorter safari. So I suppose one of the benefits of being able to read tracks, what we do as presenters, the three of us, and you'll be meeting someone new very soon, and who's going to be joining us tonight at Fireside Chat. Keep you guessing for a little while, but part of what we love doing is reading the news in the road every morning to see which cats or which hyena, who's been moving around, where the elephants have gone, which direction the buffaloes have been, which leopards are moving around. When we drive around on our boundary roads, we can see which animals have come into Djuma overnight and which animals might have left Djuma overnight. And in times that we are lucky enough to witness when they are on our traversing area. That's why we hope you become regular viewers. We hope you get as hooked on these cats and other animals as many other people have and have watched us over the years. You can see it. He's getting a little bit... I think it's winding down. It's a wind-up toy that's reaching the end of its coil. Until the cat moves, I bet you if one of them got up and moved, it'll be like the squirrel suddenly got wound up again. Oh, question from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Liz wants to know if these two males are part of that pride of 13 we saw the other day, 2 days ago. I just heard some parrots fly. You can hear the squeak of the parrots. And they've flown over. No, Liz, these two boys don't go down that way because there are males there. They're a little bit... That is west of us, where that pride is. That's the Tsalala breakaway pride, and those lion have other boys that look after them, or that are the fathers of those 9 youngsters. As far as I know, they're the Birmingham boys that live down there, and there is also further west, when the Birminghams are not around, the Majingi lions come in from the west. There were some Majingi lions on Arathusa the day before yesterday, but they were just not on the area that we traverse. They were on an area where we don't have access to. And they didn't come quite as far east as we were with the lions on the water at Arathusa. So these boys wouldn't go that far. There would be quite a commotion. Plus, they've got a hard enough time looking after their own pride up here and on Buffelshoek. There's the Nkumas. I think there's probably others that don't ever come here. Just trying to think. There's that other group called the... Come help me out, someone, viewer. Questions at Safari. Questions at wildearth.tv. #Safari Live. No, the Birmingham's, no, not to Birmingham. I'm thinking of another pride of females from up north that don't really ever come on to Djuma from Buffelshoek. I know they're the Salatis. The Birmingham have sisters in Manyaleti. The Salatis are in Manyaleti. Why, Len or Glenn in Florida, why do lions form prides? A leopard... Sorry, not Glenn, Jennifer. Why do lions form prides but cheetah and leopard don't? I think primarily because of the fact that lion became more plains hunters, and it was far more beneficial to join forces out on the plains to hunt larger prey than it was to be solitary hunting smaller prey, because hunting strategies out on the more open plains required a different hunting strategy to what, say, a leopard needs. Now, cheetah, on the other hand, do sort of form loose coalitions and loose groups. Not really. You'll find cheetah with their cubs, and you'll find boys that stay together, and sub-adults that will stay together and they'll hunt together. But ultimately, as adults, they tend to move on along on their own. But they've sacrificed strength. They've sacrificed all that muscle for the speed with which they hunt, with that lion's body and the very long legs, that it doesn't really do them any good to hunt large prey. They need to hunt things that they can bring down quickly, eat quickly, and move on. And somehow the way lion has worked over time is that it became more beneficial. It became as a survival thing. I think if we look at the adaptation of lion to their habitat, we can see when lion are born how they have spots and rosettes very similar to leopards. So I think at one time there must have been a type of habitat that wasn't conducive to open grassland and things, and that maybe over time that developed, and then the animals had to move into that niche and create a different type of society or a different behavior for themselves, not create, but adapt to a different way of living, a way of hunting, a way of feeding. And by not living in the thicket and the bush that they used to, they no longer needed the spots and rosettes, so it kind of faded over time to become this more uniform tan, tawny, beige lion color for out in the grassland. And being large cats, being able to hunt cooperatively, giving them the opportunity to bring down larger animals, which increases the amount of intake of meat per individual, which improves the chances of survival. So it was probably a combination of survival tactics and changes in habitat that required changes in behavior and social structure. There it is. Starting to get some pretty low and heavy cloud moving in from the south. The squirrel decided to just chirp up again because a fork-tailed drongo arrived in another tree, and the fork-tailed drongo is also making a little bit of a noise. So the squirrel's just reaffirming its vehemence, reaffirming its displeasure, and having cats in its territory. He's going to start snoring soon. Heavy breathing helps. Well, I suppose it's a combination of having a very full tummy pushing on his diaphragm, and I suppose helps with the discomfort of having such a bloated stomach. I mean, he's really overindulged, this boy, like a king. I don't feel so bad now when I look at his tummy, but I know he's going to have a thinner tummy in a day than I am. Ooh, give us a roar. Shanae from Pretoria. How long does a full belly like this take to digest? Well, if he's not going to eat again for a couple of days, then it'll be, I'd say, 2 to 3 days. You will notice, within 2 to 3 days, we'll notice a marked difference. But he'll be able to, if he had to, if they weren't hunting, he'd be able to survive on this full belly for up to a week or more, as long as he has water. the drongo. Go ahead, Lex. Sorry, I was on the other radio. Negative. I'm still at Buffelshoek Dam. Doug, I think it was, asking if I ever known, or has it ever been documented, of lion being ousted from a pride and then being able to take over another pride and then being able to assert dominance elsewhere. I have to be honest, I haven't ever heard of that. Mostly because of the age. I don't know, maybe if I had to think about it, Doug, offhand I can't think of it. I'd like to look into records to see if maybe it has been documented. But you see, there's a very short period in time during an adult male lion's life that he can hold a territory. So I suppose if a lion is ousted young enough, before he's managed to even sire any cubs, there's still a little bit of time left on his clock for him to be able to do so if he's strong enough and able to dominate over another pride male. So I think largely it'll depend on how old he is when he gets ousted. I think sort of later on in life, like these boys, if they get ousted now, I don't know what their chances would be being maybe 8, 10 years old. There's still maybe a few years left in them, so there's a very good chance that maybe they could. I suppose if we had to look at it from the point of view of here, if we have to think of the lions that we've had here in the Sabi Sand, when I got here, the Mapochos were here, they were pretty dominant up here, so I suppose it has been documented. Mapochos were here, they were ousted by the Machingi lions. The Machingi lions took over here, and they sired cubs here, but then they were ousted and pushed off further south and west. So I suppose the constant turnover here is different to anywhere else that I've ever known in terms of coalitions and frequency of coalitions. So I think under those circumstances, yes. Back home, I don't think I've ever heard of it happening back home in the Timbavati. And the lion that I've studied up in East Africa haven't ever done that because the dynamics are so different. So I think where a population allows it, it is possible. If we think of what's been going on here at Djuma and the male coalitions that have been dominant here at Djuma and have subsequently been pushed off and have had to resettle elsewhere in the Sabi Sand, and they've done so because they were ousted or they were moved on at a young enough age for them to be able to still sire cubs and maintain that dominance while those cubs are growing and getting to an age where they're no longer under threat from other males coming in. It's getting very grey now. I'm thinking that we ought to carry on driving for the last little bit of our drive. I'm hoping that these boys are going to stay here for this afternoon's drive. There's a good chance that they will. If there are elephant or buffalo that are going to come down this little alley to the water, they will move off, no doubt. They're not likely to move very far, especially this one with a big full belly. Probably stick around the water for a while, and I'm hoping that they will still be here this afternoon. I'm not foreseeing any change in activity in the next 20 or so, 30 minutes. So I'd like to, let's go and see what else we can find. We'll take a little bit more of a drive for the time that we have left. Go to bed, squirrel. Good night, boys. Thank you for your company. Bye-bye, little squirrel. Good luck with your endeavors to attract the attention of other allies to come and fight the lion. Bye-bye, boys. It's okay, you don't have to get up, but not on our account. No need to even lift your head. I quite understand. When you have that kind of a status in the world. Guess who this is, everybody? Go ahead, Josh. They're on the sort of where the water comes into the dam on the western side, just off of the water, up that drainage line on the sand. Yeah, I also got an ingwe here at Buffelshoek Dam on the southern side. Quite a surprise. I'm so glad we decided to leave the other sleeping. Just bumped it right this very second. Go ahead, Lex. Yeah, affirmative. The southeastern side of the dam. Raisa said quarantine. Sorry, little boy. He was just behind. Did you see him as I saw him, or?
Like literally when you see him, I saw him.
Yeah, because you normally see him before me. It's funny. I was looking for elephant tracks, and the elephant came this way after they left the dam when we were with the lion, and I was hoping that maybe we'd follow up on the leopard tracks. I mean, elephant tracks. There's an elephant pathway just off to my right, and I was looking to see for signs of them so we could go and say hello. And quite miraculously, here's this little cat. Not the first time he's tailing these two big boys. We've seen him. They killed a buffalo some time ago, a couple of months ago. They killed a buffalo near Philemon's Dip and also off Weaver's Nest. And while they were filming, he was prancing around on the other side of the drainage line watching them. And he even snuck down and took a bite of buffalo when the lions had left. So maybe this is a new strategy of his. Let's tail the big cats and pick up some of their pieces as they move along. So Raisa said quarantine. Any other guesses from any other viewers? We could. We're going to have to give him a little bit, well, move back a little bit because other vehicles are going to come in here soon. So I'm thinking maybe we just wait. Twitter is a tweet with quarantine, the male quarantine male. Karula's son. Those of you who are watching for the first time, if there are any of our first-time viewers, this is one of the local leopards. He's a young male leopard. He's about going on 2.5 soon, as he was born around about late November, December of 2012. His mother is known as Karula. She's the queen of Juma. She's the most wonderful leopard. I haven't seen her for a little bit, but she has been around recently. Now, he's got a brother who's called Kunuma. He must have dodged the Ellies. Choosing the right road. I nearly went up the other road, up to Cheetah Cut Line, to see if we could find leopard tracks. And at the last minute decided to follow elephant tracks. But I'm just trying to show you how fantastic it is sometimes to just do something spontaneously, and rather than have a plan of, well, I'm going to do this road and that road, and then I'll go there. And sometimes just a random choice of a junction can pay off, and there can be a cat. In fact, we probably drove past him earlier. Maybe they might be able to look for tracks to see whether he was walking on top of our tracks, our tire tracks. But it could well have been in the area and had moved because the elephants have moved in that direction, this direction, and then he was forced to lie elsewhere or move elsewhere. I'm going to move to the side because there's going to need, I guess, you can hear vehicles coming. So just make sure that we can give some space to another vehicle. Come in here. Morning. You got space? Morning. And you got the new one. Yeah. Productive morning as well. Wow. You must have used a lot of petrol for all the viewing you did. Yes, but it's been worth it.
Just the same neighbourhood as well.
It's smaller.
Copied. Give it a pause before I get there.
Lee, who's this guy?
What's that?
Who's this guy?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah.
Because he's got an interesting marking around his neck.
Yeah, they all have that necklace.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh,
This could be one of the young males.
We can get the quarantine mile.
is it? Is it the same one?
He's got He's got a mark above his left eye that we all you find this particular spot on the leopard or marking that you always look for. One particular one above his left eye looks like the British pound symbol.
Oh, cool. The cats are very quiet today. Check your truck. It looks like he's got a tusker in there. Oh, jeepers.
Have those kumas eaten anything?
No.
I wonder where they were eating.
With the Kumas.
No, these boys.
No, but you know, when we heard the roaring this morning, it was 2 miles
Yeah?
from the south, and we went down, we picked up the tracks 2 at Twin Dams, but the track that I followed up here was only 1.
Looked like just in the bottom there they joined up.
Okay.
So maybe the other one came up with cheetah cutline or something.
Yeah.
Go ahead, George. Confirm for the Ingwe. Yeah, either side, it doesn't really matter because we're on the road side that heads south towards Guaripan. I'm going to move to make space for another vehicle. We'll see if we can't see him from the front down this pathway, Hippo Path. Too close.
I'll go forward if you want to.
Reversing would be interesting.
Maybe I'll do it then. Pardon?
No, it's good. What happened there? Done this before. You've got some more wounds there.
Yeah, no, Billy didn't like the vehicle. She got a bit angry. Not me, she was angry with the car.
Oi.
Tight squeeze. There's yours going the other side. Yours coming? Yeah, you come past us. Yeah, firm. Yeah, no, I know this one that goes up this way to Nyala North is sort of to the tank. There's also a hippo track on your left, you might see him down there. Come forward a bit. Go ahead. They're on the other side of the dam on that arm that heads north on that western arm. Hi, yours. How are you? Nice to see you too. I don't know if you can squeeze in there. Yeah, he's there just next to Lex. Quarantine mile. Check it out, right? Go ahead, Anthony. Nice to hear from you. Yeah, I'm going to pull out of the sighting. You can come in. Either you can come down Buffalo's of cut line and then turn into the dam, come across the dam wall might be best. Or even that eastern arm that comes down to the dam from Buffalo's of cut line, either one's about the same. Well, our crocodilian has exited the water. And Nguenia's out of the water as well. I think it's still the same croc. I need to take a photograph of it and then I'll be able to do a pattern comparison. Much like we do with leopards, I can do the same thing with the crocodile with those markings. Believe it or not, the markings on a crocodile to a large extent are dictated by the temperature at which the eggs are incubated. It also determines the sex of the individuals. And so, in a nest of crocodile eggs, there's going to be varying temperature throughout the nest that makes sure that they're more or less a mixture of males and females. Well, we're seeing 3 of the top predators this morning. That's quite amazing. 3 of the top predators and the biggest mammals in Africa, in fact, the biggest mammals on the planet, on land, to emphasize. Very lucky. This is the apex predator of fresh water in Africa, the Nile crocodile. And the cat of the reptile world, doing a lot of sleeping. Energy conservation, or energy conscious creatures. For the crocodile, it's another thing entirely. For the crocodile, it is also a means to absorb energy, to gain warmth from the ambient air and the sun if it were to come out.
Still hear that squirrel going.
Yeah, the squirrel's still shouting in the background. Maybe it's actually sounding quite frantic. Maybe the cats have gotten up and are moving. Okay, let's let sleeping crocodiles be. And let's continue our journey this morning. Maybe we can find one of the smallest carnivores. What about crocodile? Be good. Don't terrorize the animals too much. Be a good crocodile. Look at this Ingwe, 2 vehicles on lock, Anthony moving in. Pity. I know it's a very short stop with the leopard, but it is part of what we do here is not put too much pressure on the animals, so we do limit the number of vehicles that are allowed at an animal, and where he is, it's very difficult to put too many vehicles in that sighting as it is. We only allow 3 vehicles, and in order for everybody to get a view, especially this sort of late in the morning when The only things that have been found around here have been lion. They've been lion up on Buffelshoek, and of course we had these two male lion. There was talk of a leopard, Mvula, the father of this boy, by the way, was seen down south in another lodge southeast of us, where a lot of these vehicles don't have access to that area. And so in order for maybe some of the people to get their guests to see this leopard, we need to allow the vehicles to cycle through there fairly soon. I'm hoping he'll be around here. That leopard tracks here, so he must have come from here. I think that's Jack's Road. Cool. The leopard tracks that I'm seeing here are probably quarantine male. And I'm got news. I'm just trying to think. They never really used to call it Jack's Road, but I think this road is Jack's Road that comes in from Buffelshoek Cut Line. Evidently another leopard, maybe, if we're lucky. That will be quite an unusual thing. Then we can't really go very far. And our entire morning will be the drama that's taking place here around Buffelshoek Dam. Hang on, Nicky, please. Stand by, please. None of us really know Jack's Road, but I think this is it. Yeah, I'm on that road, Anthony. If I can maybe make my way towards you, I just happen to be here too. Evidently this cat that was heading down there is right here, somewhere very close by. I see Anthony moving his vehicle into this bush. This leopard has evidently just made a play for a duiker. There's a termite mound. There it is. You can see its ears. It's also running again. There's an old path to a buffalo kill up here where we once had a buffalo kill many years ago. I might have even been the timbers from it. I can't remember that. That leopard was very highly mobile, to call it, when they're running towards this sort of area. There it is. It's walking now just ahead of us. Jumping on a tree. Okay, Anthony, I got a visual. No, there's an old track coming in off of the road. She's now on a tree stump watching whatever she was hunting. And come a little bit further, you'll see there's a little track from a previous sighting. Second leopard of the day. We'll be able to see what she may be looking at. She, he. Let's see if anyone can identify her. She's watching something. Probably still watching a duiker that that it was hunting. He, she, it. I need a feather. Not taking its eyes off of the ball. Watching for any movement. You know, diker is called a diker because it directly translated means a diver. And as they run, oh, I missed that moment of a shot as she looked at us. It seems the flowers are bugging her as much as they are me. Trying to pull into the left on the other side of this bush for me. Yeah, I think so. She's just off again. I haven't seen her face yet. To her mouth now, and she's still stalking whatever it was that she was after. So, I just missed that moment when she glanced at us. And I also thought Karula for a minute. We'll be able to see now maybe she's moving forward. Yours is saying maybe Kanyeni. But for now, since she's doing what she's doing, we've just got to give her space. She's watching for something. Whether she's still got an eye on it or not, I'm not sure. But she seems to have caught a glimpse of it again. If it's already ran from her, then it's going to be on high alert. Now I was saying that the direct translation of a daker is a diver because they have this habit of running and then suddenly diving into cover. And for a lot of prey, whether it's being hunted by a bird or a reptile or a mammal, even a fish for that matter, if you don't move, you don't get seen. It's a beautiful cat. I mean, look at that stance. That is classic leopard alert. Also a cat that knows to keep its tail down and keep it from twitching too much, because it can so often be a giveaway. And we notice that with younger cats when they're stalking, they can't control that little brain that exists at the end of the tail that has a mind of its own. Yours coming? Yeah, affirmative. Over onto the other side and then go down to the water and look up the drainage line. She's watching something, so at the moment she's static. Or she's actually starting to move again. So she's got an eye on something. Okay, copy. trying to remember. I remember clearly Tara and I were on the vehicle together. Either I was on camera or she was on camera. Or we were alternating. There was a buffalo kill almost exactly here. And I know it was big males, and I can't remember whether it was Matingalan or whether it was Matimbas. But I think there must have been other sightings here in the interim, because there is a track that comes up here from the sighting. Karula. Any confirmation from anybody, but I got a quick glimpse of her when she looked our way. So I'm thinking this is her. What do you think, Liam?
I was unsure, but now it also looks a bit like a river.
See if I can get a really tight zoom shot if she looks this way again. If I could just keep myself still with the flowers on my face. I can't. The only thing I know of that Anthony said that she had taken after a duiker, and my guess is that there's still a duiker here somewhere, and she's trying to pick up on it again. So she's looking for any movement or any sound up ahead. I'm not seeing anything that indicates impala up ahead, but just with her intensity is the way she's looking. Oh, now she's giving up by the looks of things, maybe. So what she's likely to do is she's like to walk a little bit more. Classic hunting time for Karula. She loves hunting this time of the day. The least likelihood that there's going to be anything else around. What she doesn't know is that there are two big male lions lying at the dam. If she kills something and it makes a death call, especially if it's a duiker, a common duiker screams like a baby when it is caught, as to a lot of animals, and it will be within earshot of those males, and so they could come running. Her best bet would then be to tree her kill, to be up in the tree as soon as she can.
Boy, look quite out there.
Yeah. Yes, part of the kill that we saw many years ago was around here, right here. I remember these little mud wallows. There's the buffalo skull. I think that's the buff skull. What's left of it? Yeah. That's the remains of a buffalo from about four years ago. Maybe 5 years ago. that beautiful stars. Can't get tired of nature's beauty. Flies, please give me a break. Okay, madam, give me that queen look. Didn't even look my way. Starting to get a little bit thick. Track that comes to an old sighting. There's an old track that we can follow. We're quite far in, but it's not too thick. The affirmative. To the eastern side, there's a small track that heads off to the east. Hope she goes onto that termite mound.
Bit of look now. I think it is Karula.
Can we go again? Looks like Karula. Making her way down towards the dam now. I keep coming, you also can see you. Now making her way straight towards him. See if I can get through here on the back of the horse, get a bit of view, and then we're going to have to say goodbye, I'm afraid. Might be making her way down towards the water actually. She's heading back more or less in a southerly, southwesterly direction. So could be that she's heading back towards the dam. I think if we find our way out of here, Welcome, Josh. There are two other vehicles, yeah. What's interesting is that she is making her way towards the dam. Now she's alert because she's kind of hoping that something's going to present itself to hunt. But I'm curious as to whether she knows that her son is at the dam. And a reunion would be something to see. It's, with this cool weather, the cats are not taking to the shade as they would normally do on a very hot day. They can afford to move around a little bit. And it will be very interesting. There's probably only about 100 meters, if that, between them. Trying to see if I can see the Torchwood from Buffelshoek Dam. That might just be hidden. Might be. That might be it in the distance, 100 meters straight ahead, the direction that she's moving. When she's moving, of course. Right now. Let's see if I can change up a little bit. Rula's turned around. She's actually making her way back towards the dam. Thank you, Anthony. We can just somehow get out of here ourselves. Yeah, she's making a beeline for it now. I'm just going to try and get through the thicket. sniffing around like she can smell something in here. Every now and then she moves away as though she's picking up on the scent of something. She's now coming onto an elephant path. And hopefully we'll be able to follow it as well. And it's not too far. We're getting a lot closer to the dam now. Hopefully near the road. Quite a dense patch before we can get close to the road. She's listening to some francolins, I think. She's pausing because there's some francolins that are starting to alarm. And I guess her training tells her she doesn't want to be walking into an ambush or something. If those francolins are alarming, it's something else. Of course, it could be anything. Cutting further south with the buffalo thorn ahead of us. We might just lose her now because it can't take the direction she's in. Let's wait until she... Now she's heading towards quarantine again. Okay, maybe we head... She's going to be parallel to the road. It's very hard. She's not choosing a particular direction, but... Can't follow in there, that's for sure. Absolutely no space in there. Okay, we're just going to sit with him a little while, see if she gets closer. Because she's not far. I'm hoping she's going to pop out of the woodwork any minute. It is a wonderful thing, because I don't know when they were last together. And the reunion would be quite interesting to see. They're so close, yet without vocalizing, and he's looking at something else. She might even be just going to the water. We might miss her. I know we are running out of time.
I wanted to leave at 9 o'clock that time. Everything going on.
How can you?
How can you go back?
Yeah.
Enjoy, guys. Thanks a lot.
Nice to see you again. Safe journey.
Thank you.
Nikki's mentioning that there's some chitter on Twitter and some emails questioning whether she's pregnant or not. I can't, at this stage, I haven't even been looking at that. I've been concentrating on other things about the situation this morning, watching her ears, her tail. I'll have a look at a couple of the photographs that I took. I'm sure we'll get some footage to look at later, some of the archive footage, and I'll get a better idea. I'm not saying yes or no. By now she should have come out. But there she is, she's coming, there she is. She's watching this way, I can just see her, there she is. And she's watching, she can see the back of him, I think. Come here, girl. Come see your son. probably can't see her. She's just going to take another few steps forward. She's right through that gap there. She's sitting down now. I don't think from the camera angle you're going to be able to see her. But just and we're hoping that they're going to see each other. I think she can sort of see him because of the way she's looking. I can now see Karula from quarantine sighting. I think it's probably about to happen. She's sitting looking in this direction, but he's facing the other way.
He's gonna go.
He's been watching Franklin, and I don't think he knows that his mother was watching him all along. Now that he's turning back, she's now looking. She's got that really inquisitive look about her that I think she's likely to recognize him by now. I wish I could have two cameras on this. Of course, the Franklin's. He's looking a bit skinny. You hungry, boy? Oh, smelling something there. Could be cat, could be lion. Something made him, he smelled something on the end of this branch and it's made him turn around here and go the other way. She, as yet, hasn't moved. She's watching everything with interest. He's now heading down the elephant path. Come, Karula, please, just come on. You must be able to see it's your boy. All we can see with the camera, the spots. We can't really see that beautiful expression on her face, but I can try and move forward. She hasn't moved, and he's walking away. Yours, come in. Yeah, he just made a go for some Franklin and he's now heading south down this elephant hippo path. She's not following. Yeah, I mean, eventually they might get together, but at the moment it doesn't look like it. I was expecting a little bit of a greeting. I was expecting to have a bit of a reunion. It might be because I know she saw him and she saw him go for the Franklin. Maybe she's just trying to make sure that they don't cross paths. Yeah, affirmative. Almost at the spot where I said goodbye to you when you were on the road. Well, you know, we could be here all day with this, but I think now that he might have headed into this Tamboti. This is very thick Tamboti. This is what Franklins do when they fly up from a leopard. And this point, I guess we better say goodbye so that I can extract ourselves from this situation or from this bush and get back up onto a road. We can get back to camp. We have some things to do back home this morning. I can't tell you how much of a pleasure it's been being a part of this morning with you all, because it's so unusual to have so much activity here at Diffelshoek Dam. I only hope that we're going to be able to match it this afternoon. So do join us again this afternoon, 3 o'clock Central African time. We're starting an hour earlier because of the time, because of the seasons changing, not because we have any daylight savings time in this part of the world. My name is Mark. Vim has been on camera, and Nikki's been back in final control. And from all of us at Wild Earth, goodbye, love you lots, and see you later. Bye-bye, Franklin. Mind the cats.